it shouldn't be a surprise that I watch a lot of endurance athletes online. Truett Haynes, the guy who just broke the pull up world record, he said something in a video recently which was really informative for me. He said 100,000 reps the last 6 months. And maybe that was a month ago. I don't actually know exactly when it was. It was, I believe, during this training for the world record to get 10,000 push-ups in one day, or pull-ups, excuse me. And yeah, pull-ups are harder than push-ups, in my opinion. He makes them look effortless. It's a lot of practice that goes into that. And that is also 20,000 push-ups that he was doing per month on average, right? I don't know, maybe he did like 30,000 a month. I don't know like what people are capable of, but average 20,000 a month, right? That's a lot. Right now, my pace doing 400 push-ups a day, that's in the past 6 days, I've been doing a little bit extra. I've done, let's call it 2,500 push-ups, 2,500 push-ups in the first 6 days, or I guess 7 days, not the first, because I didn't do any on the first, but the next 6 days. Since then, I have done 2,500 push-ups, and that feels like a lot. And that means this month I'm on track to get 10,000. So this guy's saying I'm doing 20,000 pull-ups every month on top of running, on top of other training, right? Not just doing one thing, actually doing multiple things. That to me is weird. Like, I don't understand it yet. But additionally, it's like only a small adjustment, right? And it's just a one that becomes a two, right? The 10,000 I'm doing a month, hypothetically, like this number is, you know, a variable, right? Could just be 2,000 or 20,000, excuse me. I don't necessarily have to be doing 400 push-ups a day. What if I could do more? And that's really the question that I'm trying to answer here for myself is, what if I could do more? How much more could I do? There's a lot of questions involved. How do I maintain myself? How do I keep this thing going? Because that is not assured, right? I can get injured. I can just stop doing it, you know? Like, I could just be lazy and just say like, hey, this was a lofty goal. I don't think I could do it. Um, that's not really part of the question though. The question is more like, what is a push-up? Like, how do I break it down? You go up, you go down, right? You go down, you go up. You push up off the floor. So there's other variations. Handstand push-up. How many handstand push-ups can you do? I can't do one. I think it's interesting that there's some people that are so far ahead of everyone else. Like, people who can do handstand push-ups have done so many more handstand push-ups than like the average, you know? Like, the person who could do one handstand push-up has probably done like at least five, right? The person who could do, let's say, three handstand push-ups has probably done at least 100 of them. Like, it's a different degree of commitment. It's a greater sacrifice of your time. It's a great investment. And it goes even deeper than that, because there's this like 10,000 hour rule right? People say the 10,000 hour rule is when you work at something for 10,000 hours, you will become a master. And to a degree, that's the important part, is to a degree, because you could go 10,000 straight to 100,000. There's some old people that just know so much about what they're doing because they've been so invested in it for so long. That's truly the spirit, right? That's like the will of mankind, to truly understand and work at something and actually grow and actually get better, not be stuck in stagnation, but continue to develop. That's really where it's at. This guy, Truett Haynes, I mean, 10,000 pull ups in one day, 10,001 breaks the world record. Wow. Wow. He went a whole, like, he added a whole number, you know? He went from 4 to 5 digits. That's a huge achievement in terms of pull ups, you know? I know most people like don't really care. They're like, why? 24 hours the whole time? Really? I think he took quite a bit of breaks too. You know, you got to go restroom, you got to eat. Um, you have to be very efficient with it. But I did tune into the stream, and there was only one time that I didn't see him. I was like tuning in a few times, and yeah, only once was there like nothing going on. The only thing I will say is, for some reason, the counter, I just couldn't see it. You know, like they have this bright light counter, like I don't even know what you call it. It's like a sign. It's like an LED sign, and you just can't see it from the like camera glare or something. Other than that, like, very cool that he won. I think there was like a competition with some other guy. Some other guy wanted to um like go for the record at the same time. I don't know if he did. That actually happened to him last time, is when he broke the world record and got like 8,000 something pull-ups in 24 hours, and he broke the record once. Just like a short while later, someone did the exact same thing and actually beat his record by like a margin that, you know, who knows if he would have been able to do it if he had not already broken the record and pushed himself further. Uh, that's like a speculative question, though. I wouldn't go into that. I'd more think about what was going on when like that happens, because you are like a world record holder. You're just not like a current world record holder. And it just happened like in the same week, like very shortly after someone broke his record. I wonder what that's like to be like, wow, I'm literally the best in the world, and then someone else is like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go do that exact same thing that you did, and do like a little bit more. And that's amazing. That is the human spirit, competition. That's a deep level of commitment. And he's really pushing himself. I want to see him doing something else, honestly. He's like pushing pull-ups so much. Like, I don't know. Do we need to be doing like 100,000 pull-ups in a day? Maybe, I guess. I wouldn't really care to. It's so many. But then again, I'm doing a lot of push-ups, and same, but different. It's just a lot of reps. And I'm really being meticulous about this time around, because I have gone at this challenge a few times. This is a big challenge, right? I can't just get it done in one weekend like most challenges people will put themselves to. I actually have to really, really spend time on this every single day and commit myself physically to it, which is a demanding task when you're doing 400 of anything a day. And push ups are, to be honest, they're not that hard. They get easier when you do a lot. Who could have guessed it? Um, but still, struggling. I'm still like heavy. I'm still 190 so odd pounds. I'm I'm really pushing it, doing all these push-ups. Like, I don't know, my chest has been aching a bit lately. I think also weightlifting. I did deficit deadlifts. I've been doing a ton of weightlifting. I got a deficit deadlift PR, which is a new video as well. Um, it's a lot on my body. It's very taxing, and I have to balance that somehow because this is a lot of push-ups, and I've committed myself to doing them every single day. This month specifically, I've committed myself to that, and I've committed myself to a certain amount in the month, right? And I am challenging myself with the number I'm aiming for. I have the number 405 in my head because that's 27 sets of 15. And 27 sets of 15 equals 405 reps. So when I do my tallies, which is how I'm currently keeping track of the push-ups, I just have a little note sheet that I'm writing tallies on, and every single set I write a new tally. I'm doing sets of 15 right now, so each tally equals 15 reps. And in my head, when I have 5 tallies, you do 4 tallies, you cross the last one off, you cross the 5th one, and you separate it into a 5 group. And when I see that, I know that means 75 push-ups have been completed. And so when I get 5 of those 5 tallies, when I get 25 total tallies on my tally sheet, I know I've done 375 tallies, or 300, excuse me, push-ups, not tallies, 375 push-ups. It's my system of just counting these because, oh, dude, it's such a commitment already. I have a calendar that I've been writing this year where on every single day, I just write how many push-ups I do. And then at the end of every day I count how many push-ups I do. At the end of the month, I can do a little math and solve for the exact amount. And my goal's 10,000 a month. I have a bunch of goals with this challenge, and most of them are similar. They're related to each other. It's just like little tasks, little quests that I can go on, specifically the daily goals, because 405 push-ups a day, that's a big one. That basically makes up all the rest of the push-up goals. I wouldn't have any push-up goals if I wasn't doing push-ups. And that's why I have to do them every day, because I'm counting them. I'm working on this challenge meticulously. I've been saying that word. But very, very closely, I'm dealing with these little problems because I read in a book that is called Hagakure. This is like a samurai book. This guy says, deal with the small tasks greatly and take the large tasks with a more relaxed manner. Something along those lines. I know I butchered it. Either way, it's translated from Japanese, right? So the idea is you fix what's in front of you, right? If it's in front of you, if you can actually work on it, whatever that is, you are basically doing the right thing. And if you're just solving problems in your head and sitting there and thinking your way through problems, not actually taking any action, you're going to have some problems. That's a big problem with this challenge in particular because, again, every single day, I got to show up, I got to put some numbers up. I don't want to put up any rookie numbers. I want to put up a few hundred push-ups a day. I want to have 10,000 at the end of the month. I'm keeping this all in mind as I'm doing it. I want to be consistent overall. this is crucial for this challenge. It's everything is about keeping it going as long as I can, because I don't know how much I can sustain, to be completely honest, and no one does. No one expects an injury, right? No one expects it ever. I pulled my back deadlifting when I was 17, and that was maybe the worst injury I've had. Like, still to this day, I sometimes feel like a nerve in my back because I know I pulled something. And, the body does heal, it does even overcome things like that. But the problem is truly about ignorance and turning away from the truth, turning away from knowledge. That's really the problem. If you say there is a problem, usually there isn't. Usually, when you let it sit, you don't dwell on it. Actually, it wasn't that big of a deal. It just kind of settled itself. And sometimes you do run into things and you have to solve in the moment. And that's a great skill to have as well, is leadership in the moment. I'm thinking more along the lines of don't dwell on, the huge tasks, right? I don't think to myself, oh, time to do 450 push-ups today. Why would I think that? That's so ridiculous. It's like almost funny. Why would I ever think, oh, let's just do everything? There's a great Jim Rohn line from one of his talks. He goes, it's a story about I'll say the pastor, right? This is a church preacher, and he's going to the South, and he's very popular. Actually, a lot of people are showing up to his sermon, and he goes out and he goes to this town, and he expects a lot of people to show up. He set up his tent right outside the town. He expects a lot of people to come, and it is supposed to happen around, let's say, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Let's say 8 o'clock, and 8 o'clock hits, no one's there. 8:15, and a cowboy walks in, a lone cowboy. He left his horse outside, and he comes in and sits down. And the preacher is like wondering, well, what do I do now? So he goes down to this guy, and he says, hey, I expected a lot of people to show up, but no one actually did, and I'm not sure what to do now. And the cowboy said, well, I'm just a cowboy, but if I went out to feed my animals and there was only one there, I would still feed the one. And the preacher thought, well, wow, that's pretty insightful, coming from a cowboy. So I'll do exactly that. And he got up on stage, and he felt so motivated by what he'd heard that he preached, and he went on for a half hour, and then an hour, and an hour and a half, and 2 hours. And then he felt like he'd given the best preaching and Bible teaching and knowledge dropping truth that he could have given. And so he went down and he asked the cowboy, well, what'd you think? And he says, well, I'm just a cowboy, but if I went out to feed my animals and only one of them showed up, I would feed it, but I wouldn't dump the whole load on it. And usually when Jim Rohn says it, it's like met with applause and great laughter and, clapping and a standing ovation. But I think it's just a funny little story. And tackling this challenge is really very comparable to this parable. When you are approaching a task that you can't really solve in one piece, you naturally have to deal with it in parts. There's a really great line in Matthew chapter 13, I believe. I was just reading this, and I'll find it. It's really good. It's super good. I think it's Matthew 12. Not about a sign. A divided house cannot stand. This is Matthew 12, Matthew chapter 12, verse 22. You know, if you got your Bible, whip it out. A divided house cannot stand. Then was brought unto him one possessed with a devil, blind and dumb, and he healed him, insomuch that the blind and dumb both spake and saw. And all the people were amazed, and said, Is not this the son of David? But when the Pharisees heard it, they said, This fellow doth not cast out devils, but by Beelzebub, the prince of the devils. And Jesus knew their thoughts, and said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And if I by Beelzebub cast out devils, by whom do your children cast them out? Therefore they shall be your judges. But if I cast out devils by the Spirit of God, then the kingdom of God is come unto you. Isn't that interesting? That's verse 22 to 28 of Matthew 12. And he says, A kingdom divided against itself shall not stand. Right? A house divided against itself, a city divided against itself. Structure cannot be divided or it will be destroyed. It will not be stable. That is the way I understand that. That's a good thing. I mean, that's the only way you could have any order, really, is if things work together. They don't just break each other. One of my coaches, he said this when I got injured, right? Worst thing to hear ever when you're injured. I broke my foot, and he said, nobody wants to play with a broken toy, right? He didn't say it to me. He said, don't break your toys. That's what he said. He said, don't break your toys. I misquoted him, right? He said, don't break your toys. And like he said it to the class. And it was a MMA class, right? So there's like jiu-jitsu, there's striking, there is grappling. It's mostly grappling. It's actually wrestling for MMA. And yeah, broke my foot. And he said, guys, don't break your toys. Then you can't play with them. Like, dude, that's a bar. First of all, that's a bar. But also sucks to hear that when you're the one who broke your foot. And it is what it is. You know, my foot's stronger now, and I'm still working on it. I still have a lot of work to do with my feet. I could really strengthen them. Actually, this is a problem for me that I've never talked about. I've never really thought about until recently. Doing so many push-ups, I'm putting my feet into a very particular position, like all throughout my day, right? Just completely flat. Absolutely no ankle activation. And I realized that recently, and I've just been thinking, wow, that's crazy. Like the push-ups actually just, yeah, it's not good. I actually have kind of a problem with flat-footedness, just like being actively flat-footed. And I've had to strengthen my foot over time. Wearing barefoot shoes now feels like really good, and running feels a lot better. I used to hate running. My feet would hurt, but right now they feel great. And just one thing I've noticed is my ankle mobility is kind of weird. It's not the mobility, it's more just like my ankles are they're just kind of tired. That's the way I can explain it. It feels like I'm wearing freaking shackles, you know? Like my legs just feel heavy. Maybe I've been just training myself too much. There is a big fatigue factor involved. I'm gonna be even more meticulous with my programming going into next week because I really want to balance this weightlifting that I'm doing with the push ups because I've been hitting good numbers with the push ups lately. But I know if I'm weightlifting the way I have been lately, I won't be able to progress them because it's just too taxing. It's too much on my system. And yeah, my chest from the push-ups, guys, has been really, really aching me lately. Like sometimes doing, like it'll just happen randomly. Like I'll be around like 300 reps and I just like kind of feel sore in my chest. And then, I'll get to like 400 and it'll kind of go away. But I work through it and I'm balancing it and I take, breaks in between sets, obviously. So, um, yeah, I'm trying to pace myself lately though. I'm really trying to pace myself. I think if I could get 400 push-ups in an hour consistently, that would be huge because that's actually kind of what I would draw the line at right now. I don't think I should be doing any more push-ups a day. I think this is a totally acceptable amount to most people, completely unreasonable amount to ask someone else to do this. For me, right now, it feels just about right. Feels really good actually where I'm at with my training. I'm so satisfied. I don't want anything to change. I want actually just to create some more structure in this program, like I said. So I'll be making a spreadsheet. I'm already working on that, and then I'll probably share it out because I wanna show you guys what I'm doing. I want to show uh, the program, how to get aesthetic as possible. And there's still some details I have to work on. I don't know if I'm going to be doing pull-ups. I thought for a long time I'd be doing weighted calisthenics, but for some reason I just don't have the draw to it. Maybe in the future, not right now though. I like the barbell exercises. I like the push-ups. I've been training my handstand. Maybe that's why. The handstand is pretty exhausting. It's always using the shoulders. I just have not been doing much pushing or I guess pulling up. I haven't been doing any of that. It is good though. It is good. It's a balancing act because you can only do so many exercises. And when you really love this stuff, that feels so bad because like I want to be doing all these different exercises, but because I have set particular goals for myself, I'm limiting myself in a way that this potential is being unfulfilled. And that's okay. That's good, actually, because I can't be, doing everything. I can't stretch too thin. But at the same time, maybe I'm stretching myself to a certain degree already. And I have to address how much is that? How much further can I go? Is, my body recovering in between workouts? That's the real important thing is, am I getting enough recovery? Because if you're not, then you've got a really big problem in front of you. Because training can actually be detrimental. You could get injured. I've talked about this. You could get injured. Anyone could get injured. It sucks. But you deal with it, you get better. I've had plenty of injuries, and I'm hoping that what I'm doing right now is the right stuff to keep me out of that rut. In a way, I've been doing really good lately. With push-ups, I've been really consistent. I've just been enjoying this, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this challenge right now because it's keeping me busy in days of a lot of wasted time every day going on. So I'm just trying to stay productive with this challenge and go after it every single day. Boost my mindset even further. That's what I'm after here. Thinking about these endurance athletes is so crazy. You know, right now, I had a crazy thought. David Goggins' pull-up record is 4,000, right? That was the one he first broke the record with. I think it was about 4,000 pull-ups in 24 hours. And now it's become 10,000, but still, Goggins' record is great. And I wonder what his push-up record is. Like, I wonder how many he's done of those, because I bet it might even be more. And, you know, how could I compare to, like, someone like that? Because I bet he could do 1 million real quick. That's crazy to say, but that's how much faith I think I have in him. I think he could actually do 1 million push-ups, like, relatively quickly, especially compared to what I'm doing right now. But not to say I'm not happy with what I have. He's just in a much further position than me. You know, he's really seen a lot, and he's trained a lot for a long time. That's a real consistent person, a real commitment. You know, like the past 20 years of training, that's huge. That's basically, I think it's more. I think it might be like 30 or 40 years of training at this point, because he was a good athlete as well, from what I understand, when he was younger. Regardless, this guy with a lot of experience, right, with sports, with athleticism, and this is a guy who did a world record doing 4,000 pull-ups in 24 hours. And I was able to do 2,000 push-ups, which is half. How crazy of a goal would it be to set 4,000 push-ups in one day as a goal? That's a huge, huge thing. That's actually nearly half of a percent done with the challenge. That's how significant that would be. 4,000 push-ups in a single day. That's actually a lot. When I say it like that, it sounds like, you know, pennies, but who doesn't like pennies? I got a piggy bank right in front of me. I got some pennies. I like that. That's a good idea. 4,000 push-ups in a day, that's a crazy goal. But, you know, maybe I'm doing 10,000 a month. How crazy is 4,000 in one day? I have to be recovered. I have to be in good condition, but, you know, that's still ways away. I won't be thinking about that for a while. I like the way I'm going right now, just working out consistently every single day, getting after it. No more days off this month. That's the goal. Thank you for watching. I did 1,711 push-ups over the course of 4 days. Adding that to my 66,317 brings me up to 68,027 push-ups. 68,028 push-ups completed so far. Thank you for watching. Click that link below to work one-on-one with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.